Why, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. How are you doing today? Good to see you, Penny, Susan Wilson, in the house. Hello, friends. Yes, you guys are my friends and my coworkers, so this is really fun for me. I'm so glad you're joining me. Thank you so much, Michelle. Favorite message, audio and video are good. And yeah, so thank you so much for joining me. If you're joining me elsewhere, let me just kind of double check that. I want to say hello to you. Yes, thank you so much. Carl out there on YouTube, awesome. Frank's in the house, but always love Frank's work. Frank, you're killing it, per usual. So I'm so glad you guys are here. Yeah, like Mohammed said, I want to know how you guys are doing, and I want to inspire you and create as well today. So today is all about, excuse me, as you can see below, and just so you know, I'm on behance.net/live, graphic design trends. And then we'll pick apart some of them. So how to make them as well. There's lots of trends, so I don't know if the title like over promises, but let's just dive into this, shall we? I'm glad you're here. Frank's in the house. RB is here as well, Susan Wilson. So again, and I took my sabbatical in January, so I did not get to do my graphic design trends in January. But, there's no time like the present. And yes, this is April 1st. This is not an April Fool's stream. We don't need that type of drama, This is just good old-fashioned, it's inspiration. Okay, multiple places cover design trends, right? I've pulled up, we have basically five of... we should have more than this. We should have... 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Here we go. So 99 Designs does it. 12 inspiring graphic design trends, right? We can look at and scroll through some of those. We have some from, let's click over, some from Graphic Mama as well, graphic design trends, and then also Creative Block as well as basically Adobe Stock. Creative Trends Forecast, right? So I like to go through these lists and I like to compare them, like which ones have similarities and which ones are different. And if there's some similarities across these lists, those are the ones that I want to pick out, right? So we can see right down here, we can get into this like sort of 2D, 3D mashup. Yeah, super fun. Of course, animated 2D, 3D mashup, right? This is a flat design. I love how this one's like, is it 2D? Is it 3D, right? This here as well, sort of a circular. It's all this very flat look, by the way. And again, I'm just kind of scrolling down. This is how we'll get inspired through some of this. Bobby Orlando's here as well. And let me know what you're into, by the way, as well. This is that 2D, 3D trend. I want to make note of the colors as well. So those colors are going to start popping a lot. You'll see a lot of pastels, even as I scroll from project to project. You got these vibrant colors. So I think that's something pretty important to point out, right? We can go back. We can go over here to this one. Let's just scroll up to the top. Let's just jump down to extreme bubble design and we can see some of these colors. So again, some primary colors, but again, those pastel colors you'll see across multiple trends. So that's the color palette we're going to use. And I love this bubble type, right? So they're talking about extreme bubble. We're going to do that in Illustrator, so it's going to be really fun. But yeah, I'm just kind of bouncing around just so you know. This one isn't as well organized, this one here, but let's scroll down. Anti-design, 90s nostalgia. So I've put all these together for you, but I'm just kind of showing you some of the fun images. This ukiyo-e influenced flat design, a lot of textures here, which is really cool. We could do that in Illustrator. Let's look at, again, 2D and 3D mashup, same thing. It's been on 2 lists already. So we'll get into that. Collaborations, the metaverse, or whatever. Metaverse. I like the real world. But anyways, so let's get inspired by these. We see these bubble designs. We get into this intricate design. Escapism. This is really cool. Escapism. I love escapism. Super cool. Guess what? I've already outlined all of this, and we'll show you in a second. But I'm going to scroll down this one really fast. Fonts with a twist. Super fun, right? Of course we love doing this. Yeah, we're going to manipulate some fonts. It's going to be a lot of fun. Right in here, fonts with a twist as well. Super cool. So we'll do that. This one, like stuff like that, so cool. Like, look at this. Again, just fun like this one. Again, with the colors. Gets a little retro, but I'm totally into it. And it also says video game there. You know, again, that same color palette here. All right, are we kind of getting inspired by these graphics? Are we? And crystals? Are we channeling, you know, I don't know, the design gods? But what was that? There we go. Cool. So these are all the top graphic design trends. So we have like 2D, 3D mashup, right? Like I said, that's on 2 different lists. We have fonts with a twist, and also expressive and experimental lettering, right? I actually want to jump to that one for 99 Designs real fast. We might have just cruised by it. This experimental, like this stuff I love. Look at this. Come on now, Susan Wilson. So that's the idea. It's like, that is so cool. Let's go back to our list, right? We start comparing them. This Yukio flat design, I kind of think so. I don't know if all these blogs, they might be stealing from one another. I don't know. Parametric patterns, can I point that one out really fast on 99 Designs? I'm going to make 3 of these within the short time I have. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's go down to parametric patterns. These fun topographic type patterns and wavy things are really cool. So we could easily do that in Illustrator as well. All right, so I kind of picked my favorites. We could see 90s nostalgia as well. Ooh, that's on a couple lists, right? And this Yukio influenced flat design. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to scroll down and just kind of work with some of this type. Let's go right here. I have 3 canvases, and we're going to take some of these. We're going to grab, you know, basically fonts with a twist. Right, so experimental typography is what I'm talking about there. But that's going to be the first design I make. And I get it. I have all these crazy graphics off to the side. You don't need to see those. 90s nostalgia. And then we're going to be just kind of working with some quotes or some phrases, just some lettering, at least some text to inspire us. And enjoy the view. We're going to do 2D, 3D mashup for this last one. Okay, so we found out what the trending designs, graphic design trends are, and this is what we're going to implement across these 3 artboards. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Let's move this stuff out of the way because it's annoying me. Whose artboards look like this? Probably most of yours. All right. Viola, I hope you're doing okay. I don't know what's going on with you, huh? Tell us. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully everybody's having a lovely Friday. It is April Fools. But let's kind of dive into this. Let's take this text. The more I sleep, the less I dream, which will be really fun. We could do this. I just like this. This is from a song, but I think it's kind of a common phrase. Let's do this. All right, so we're going to take this. We're going to have some fun with it. I'm going to take this. I'm going to open up my properties panel. We're going to do fonts with a twist. I like this. I like actually the thickness of it so far. We'll do something like that. A pretty standard font we're going with. This might as well be Helvetica. Doesn't matter. I'm using Acumen Variable Concept because it gives me these lovely little sliders to do what I want. But really, I'm going to be doing all the heavy lifting. And I'm going to make sure that this is, as we can see, all caps. Right, so we'll start breaking this up onto multiple lines. We'll cut that there, paste it there. We'll do 4 lines. Something like this. And thank you so much for joining me today. If you guys have questions as we dive into this, sounds like everybody's just... Anybody have problems sleeping? Isn't it funny? As you get older, I think sleep becomes, you know, it's a major portion of everybody's life. But like, you know, it takes like a lot to sleep well. And when you do, it's amazing. Who loves sleep? I do. Oh man, this is on at 8 a.m. for me. So I'm like, oh, I gotta get up. I gotta get up and do stuff. Okay, so we'll kind of distribute those objects. We have this kind of squared away. Usually if I have the copy, a lot of times you'll do this. This is what everybody does. you'll have your font, you'll click and drag that over. So I'm just holding down the Option key, and then we have our backup text down there. But really we're going to play with this, because what are we going to do? We're going to twist it and manipulate it and have some fun with it, right? So I'll, again, expand it out a little bit more. Maybe make it a little bit thinner. I want to just make the width a little thinner, like so. Kind of do something like that. There we go. That looks better. And this is just an Instagram post size is what I'm going with. So like that, we'll right click, we'll create outlines, and we'll have fun twisting this. I thought this would be when you dream of sleeping while you're sleeping. Wow. That's deep. Oh. Oh, Cody Bear, can I be you? I would love to be able to just like go to sleep at night. But I don't know, not to, I think sometimes guys fight it. Like I fight it because I guess I didn't, you know, nobody got to stay up late as a kid. So when you're an adult, you're like, I'm an adult, I'm staying up late. And then you realize that's kind of dumb because nothing productive happens after midnight, right? Fun stuff, sure, you could have some fun, but yeah, nothing productive. You're not filing your taxes at midnight, right? You're just watching old reruns of Friends. All right, so right here, this is what I'm going to do. Behind this width tool, typically, are a bunch of these like warping, manipulating, twisting, right? So we want to talk about type with a twist. Let's take twirl just for fun, right? So we have twirl. I kind of like this brush size. Let's zoom in on it. And we'll just kind of add some fun twists and see what we can do, okay? The brush size, yours might not be this size. Typically, it's default to 100 or 50 or something like that. And then we could start to twist this. So you can see what we get already, like, we could start to twist the ends if we want to. That's kind of fun. If I hold down the Option key, it's going to twist the other direction. Hold on. No, that doesn't do it. Hold on. There we go. The Shift key. Hold down the Shift key, and then it will twist the other direction. So again, just kind of depends on which direction you want to go. I'm kind of twisting this up and just playing around. So we're just kind of making this look dreamy. Now, what if we want to change the brush size? We just double click on that tool, and then we get all the options right in here. So we can just go ahead and type in, I want to do like 200, 200. And the intensity is way high. So let's take this down to like 10, right? There's my twirl rate as well. Now let's see how it reacts as I kind of manipulate this eye. You can see you get this just entirely like different look. So here I might want to do just like, I get a different look with that same sort of, the same tool. But again, I'm just trying to make it look like you're about to fall asleep or you're just coming out of like sleep and things are melting and stuff like that. I personally like this. I like this better than this. So that's what I'm going to use. In fact, I'm going to undo all that. And then we're going to use this new tool. So we're just going to click and we can have this kind of melt down. So that's what I'm doing. When you're manipulating type, you don't want to distort the first and last letter too much. And some of these I might want to pull down. So I'm actually going to use the warp tool and we can start to pull down some of this content. Let's double click because you see here's my warp tool. We could crank this up to 40 and I can just click and drag and pull that down, right? So that's all I'm doing is using these fun warp tools and twist tools and bulge tools, things like that. These E's will be fun to do with the twirl tool. So we'll come down here. Oop, always too much. You get the idea. Now, if you want to change your brush size without going into these property options right in here, what you can do, and that actually it should say right here, so you don't have to worry too much about this, because right down here at the bottom it says, hey, you know what? You may interactively change by holding down the Option key before clicking with the tool. So hold down the Option key and click, and I'm changing the brush size by holding down the Option key. If I hold down the Shift key, then I can obviously like change it to smaller or larger. So I can go a little smaller, come in here, twist this, hold down the Shift key. Option Shift, let's make this a little larger. Oh yeah, I kind of like it. Man, I don't know, I'm struggling here. It's like I'm getting two different looks, and I don't want it to be too messy. I like how clean these lines are right here. So that's kind of what I'm going for. Kind of just like it a little better. Something like that. Cool. You get the idea. All right. Fantastic. All right. Command Shift H, bring back our artboards. We have our original text down there. Again, quite simple. And then we have, of course, all this like so, which we could start to tighten up, bring together, stuff like that. So to create more of a lockup if we want to, and start to even like colorize this as well. Cool. Hello, Megan's in the house. Good to have you here. We're covering design trends. We're going to do some dreaminess because we saw for our graphic design trends, even if I just kind of scroll through this, like what colors pop out to you? Like these ones definitely pop out to me. Like I love this. Like we could actually take the colors of that. So let's grab this. Let's drop it in here. Can I do that? Or maybe I can't even do that. I don't know. We're going to learn together. Okay. Copy. Paste. There we are. So this might be our reference for our colors, which will be super fun. Okay. Hit I. I can't sample this, I guess, when I hit I, but what I can do is I could take this and I can trace it. So I could do an image trace of, say, maybe 16 colors or 6, but let's just do 16. Let's sort of trace that so we can get those solid colors. We could always expand it, but now I can kind of select, hit I. What am I doing wrong? Double click. Anyways, well, let's just double click here on the color. And then, okay, here's another thing I do. I can take all of this. I can go to my swatches panel right here, and I want to make a new color group based on that image. So right down here, I can just click, bam, right there. Create this new color group. This is design trends. It's going to give me 16 colors. So there they all are, but I have enough to play with. Right, so now I can just go off of that. So let's select this. We can come down here. Why am I... Oh, I had to ungroup it. That was the problem. Thank you. Syed. Oh, yeah. Slow clap into the mic. Bam is right. Wow, thank you. I needed to ungroup them. So thank you. That's why I was like... And I should have known, what is that? These other ones are fine. I don't know why that first one was grouped. But nonetheless, the rest are just fine. We can kind of go through, obviously, select what we want. Who knows why it was that way earlier? And I apologize, but hey, it's all good. We're back, baby. Right? There we go. Bingo. Okay, so let's take... oh, thank you, Arena. It happens to you all the time. Oh, it just happened to me and it was horrible. Like, man. Let's throw a fun color back there. Because I'm not even sure that I want to go with that color for the text. I personally see white with the text and then having fun with the background. That's what I would want to do. Okay. So... let's try that out as well. So come in here, let's turn that off. Thank you so much for joining me today. Copy, new layer, paste. We'll just have our white version, like so. And again, all this is all going to be white. Now let's have fun with the backgrounds. Rather than change the color of the text, we'll change the background. Come in here, what are we going to do? Do you guys know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use the gradient tool. I'm going to use right over here this last one, which is freeform gradient, right? Tell me that doesn't isn't going to feel like a dreamy escape. I'm really into this first color splash that we have right here. But it doesn't quite say dreamy, right? This says, black says nightmare. So we want to go ahead and change that. You know, and I'm going to probably stick with colors that are not primary colors. Even this one can tint more to orange if I want to. And I kind of like the white there. But anyways, that's kind of the color scheme I have going. I kind of move those around a little bit. Maybe I'll add another one right down here because we need like another cool color. So yeah, so maybe something kind of like that, right? The more I sleep, the less I dream. Let's have some more fun manipulating this, right? We're going to do something fun with the background, right? It's going to dip into another design trend, but I think it'll be really cool. Geez, I feel like duplicating this. Maybe I will. Let's do it, folks. All right. You can take your artboard tool. I'm going to make sure that this little button's turned on. So basically copy all the artwork with it, right? So we will take this, shift, click, drag on down, or even off to the side if I want to. Maybe I'll put it over here. Just because I'm going to have two different versions now. I'm probably going to make, yeah, I'm going to make a couple. All right. So let's go back in here. Let's add, say if we want to add more depth to this. I'll turn off the text for now. And let's do something with some lines. So we'll just jump in here. We will take a simple white line and go shablamo, right? We'll take this, we'll click and drag it down, and then Command D. Or I could use the blend tool. But either way, I could do this with one hand. Have a drink of my oatmeal. It's like oatmeal cream pie coffee. Taylor, that's a great call. Taylor says maybe the text will glow. I love that idea. I love the idea of blurring. I would probably get Photoshop involved, to be honest with you. Because I'd want to have some of these blurring into like this O, the top of this O should blur into the background. So I would actually use Photoshop for that. Because I'd have more control because we have like focus area blurs and stuff like that. But what we could also do is we still blend this stuff because we could just take these solid colors, you know, and make them gradients as I'm doing right now. Take that down to 0, right? We could just kind of do this sort of blending like so. Oh, let's take this color. Let's make sure that is white. There we go. So we could do something kind of like that to kind of have it dip into the background. Does that work? Is that working for you? Don't forget to ungroup. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. It's a full day of masterclasses. I think, let me see. Terry is up next. Ooh, Photoshop filters that everyone should use. So he's probably going to get into blur filters. So think about that. There we go. Nice and clean. I'm into it. Okay, cool. We did it, right? I love the freeform gradients because you can get, you know, it just usually has a lot of pop to it. Okay, so this one was going to be a little bit more crazy, just so you know. Let's go back in here. I have these lines. Right? I could take all these lines, and this is what I wanted to do with these lines. I know it might be kind of hard to see. Let's crank up the size of these lines so you can see it pretty well. We're going to do the same thing, and we're going to make this larger than the artboard. But we're going to use the same tools, but this time we're just going to do it with this grid work. Okay? And I could actually turn on my type, just so it's there. It's locked down. But again, using those same tools, we'll jump in here. Sort of the warp tool, for instance. And I'm going to make sure the size is pretty large for this. So crank that up. And I'm sorry, this might be kind of hard to see. In fact, let's turn off that text. But here's where I can kind of come in and push these lines around. Heck, let's make them black so we can see everything. Let's do this. You ready? Black. Turn that off. Right? Hopefully you can see that a little bit better. Let's make them even thicker. So this is just for demo purposes. Crank it up. Hide that stuff. And now you can see everything, right? There it is. We start to push this content around. See what I'm doing? It's kind of giving you, like, making it look like an eye chart. But I'm just pushing these lines around. And I will crank this up to about 40%. So now we'll get even more waviness, right? So you can start to see what's happening in here. This is kind of dipping into that style that I mentioned a second ago. And it was on my list. It should be on this page. Sorry about all the flashy graphics. Parametric patterns. So this is roughly what I'm doing, something kind of like this. Parametric patterns. Here we have this, and that's what we're doing, is we're just pushing this content around. Super easy, okay? You can obviously like mess it up a lot, but I'm just having that background imitate the distorted text that we had, okay? So that's all I'll go with, something like that. We'll change this back to white. We'll turn on our background. There it is. We'll turn back on our text. Of course, we can't see this, but not to worry. We're going to change the lines. It's actually, we can even go in here to appearance, stroke, change this to overlay, something like that. So that's what I was thinking for this one. Maybe that's too much. We could change this to soft light, right? Again, just two different ideas based on that same text. Cool. You want to play with colors some more, you say, huh, Taylor? Taylor, you've been helpful. Been so helpful today. So I'm going to take this. Like, if you just want to experiment with colors, just select whatever you have selected, whatever you want to change the color for. Go into recolor artwork. And this is your opportunity just to kind of mess with all these colors, right? So we could go to the edit mode and then just kind of roll through sort of these sort of different options. Just play with the color wheel. That's all you want to do, right? Not green, kind of like the blue. Unlink them and start to push these around, because this one gets a little muddy. Guess what? We'll increase the saturation there. And maybe this one actually kind of dips over there. So this is just like kind of a fun way to work, rather than, you know, if you want to, if you find it like beneficial. Right? But I do see where the colors are getting muddy and where I might want to punch them up like so. Cool. Yeah, I'm kind of into this. Text is still a little thin for my needs. I want to actually like punch up that text a lot. And that makes me wish I would have used a thicker font. Let's be honest. All the fun stuff is happening in this text. I should have made this a bolder font, but now we know. All right. Oh, Michelle, you are too kind. Let's do... So we're going to do this again. Let's actually move this over a little bit. Maybe, maybe not. Just going to put it right here. Bring this to front. There we go. Here's our last little take. I've been actually really working with this one a lot. But let me show you this. Let's just like, we kind of manipulated some type. Let's do something a little bit different. Something a little bit easier, actually. All right, we're going to do this. You ready? Go. Go, go, Paul. Do it. Get it done. Get it done. Where's my graphics? Here, let's take this. Turn that off. come back in here, paste this in. Number 3, let's do this really fast. Wait for it. Let's change this to white. And I just want to play with some fonts. I've had so much fun with fonts lately. Like, I just love the font trends. So again, we're dealing with experimental type. Absolutely love some of the stuff that we're looking at. Wait for it. Like this stuff. Like that. You could find these display fonts everywhere. So we could still go to... sorry, fonts.adobe.com. Silly me. Yeah, let's jump in here. All fonts. Crop it like it's hot. I can search through some of these. You know, funky, all this stuff. This one's not bad. This is not bad. Ooh, Gladoc. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, let's activate that font. But I've also been using, and I want to be just honest with you guys, I've been using Pixel Surplus. So Pixel Surplus has some pretty cool fonts if you do want to spend some money, right? So let's just jump out here. Let's go to, say, bundles or whatever. But I love these styles. So I got one of these for like $30, and I think it was totally worth it because it was like literally 30 fonts. So again, since I love this so much, like, tell me this isn't awesome. This is awesome, right? So I've actually already installed those. And let me use this up at the top, right in here. Actually, I think I have some of them favorited. So let's just take a look. Let's like roll through some of these. Make this larger. There we go. See, like this one, Agni. This one, yeah. This one's nice. Boom. This is the one I want. Brams. Look at how nice this font is. So Pixel Surplus is the name of the site. And this is called Brams. That's the name of this font. So I just like, the more I look at this font, the less I dream. But like, yeah, it's so nice. Isn't it cool? You guys into it? All right, so here's something we can do. We've made a number of them. Let's actually move this up. I have done nothing with this because I want to get onto some of the other styles. But you could actually go to presentation mode. So now that's what we're looking at. Presentation mode, our Brams font. We could look at the alternate glyphs for this font to see if there's some that kind of can be linked together. That's kind of what I want to do. Let's look at the glyphs. Glyphs panel. Oh, sorry, this one. Okay, so I'm not sure what happened here, but this has alternate glyphs. And we could actually have an R and an E that hook together. Let me just do this one more time. Let's select this. Let's go to our all caps, and we're going to turn that off. There we go. It was using all caps for that font. Now I changed it to lowercase. And every time there's an E next to an R, it drops in this new glyph that links up the two. Oh, why is it changing on me? Let's zoom in. So this is what I'm talking about. Like all of these sort of lockups. These are alternate glyphs. I don't know what they're called specifically, like when you link two letters together, but they're known as alternate glyphs. Yeah, I'm totally into this. Even better, guys. Now we're cooking with gas. Okay. This one needs to be formatted more correctly, like, you know, there needs to be, you know, It just needs to be worked on. Okay, what is it? Go to view, presentation mode. No, that's not it. I forgot the shortcut. Is it just P? No. Anyways, I'm sorry I can't remember presentation mode. But let's go back in here. There's our font. There's this one. There's all of our notes. And then there's this one. So it sounds like you guys... I like the one with only the gradient best. So Jan, you're into this one. This is honestly the one we spent the most time on, and I agree with you. I agree 100%. I would take these, I'd start to make more of this text kind of one flow into the next. Thank you, it's a ligature. Maybe that's all it's called, ligature. Thank you, Richard. A ligature is really any character. That's what a ligature is. Shift F. Oh, thank you, Shift F. There we go, perfect. It's the addition of the shift key. So F will just toggle through removing the interface. You know, that also works on Photoshop. Shift F will kind of bring this up. So yeah, anyways, we did it. We did the thing. We're using these colors. We are playing with fonts with a twist. And we're going to get into some 90s nostalgia now as well. So let's do that. That'll be fun. Jason Rose is in the house. All right. So our next phrase, I might not get to the third, but I certainly hope I do. 90s nostalgia. I thought this would be a fun phrase to use for 90s nostalgia. Because remember when you were little, you're like, shouldn't we all have jetpacks now? We don't. And guess what? Does anybody know we were promised jetpacks? Does anyone know we were promised jetpacks? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? And it's okay if you don't. It just means that I'm just kind of lame. All right, let's jump in here. We're going to do some of the similar things. Take this. We're going to make it all caps. We're going to keep this really clean for the most part. Like so. 90s love in the house. So let's make this like 90s. Think of this 90s nostalgia. So what was going on in the 90s? What were those color palettes? The color palettes were like a little more primary. So, and they would probably be a little bit more solid, but we can still play with that. Let's just steal this. Let's bring it over here. Again, the quick way to just change these colors is to jump in, go to Edit, Colors, Recolor Artwork. And rather than using these, so this is what I mean by when I say primary and secondary colors. Maybe you guys know this, but hey, that's why we're here. Primary colors, red. Let's get this over in red, green, blue, yellow. So they're all kind of opposite the color wheel. So these are primary. Then you get into secondary, might be purple, orange, this light green color, and teal. But I'm going to go more with primary colors because if we look at 90s nostalgia, that's what it is. Get there, Paul, get there. Hurry, Paul, hurry. You guys demand to be entertained. 90s nostalgia. Boom. Okay, kind of like that. Is that really? I'm thinking this. This is what I'm thinking. So like I just said, primary colors. That's what this, like, perfect, right? That's what I'm going for. I love this. Like, I'm all about that. So we'll switch up the font. We'll add some outlines. And also on this list has its 90s nostalgia examples as well. It should. Maybe it's this one over here. 90 There we go. Like this stuff. Oh yeah, perfect. That same fat font. We have this. We have, you know, some color splashes. That's cool. That neon green. So anyways, I'm taking inspiration from this. And let's get this party started. Just like I did here. Boom, boom, boom. Not the best. It doesn't make a good color blend in here so far. It's not that pretty. Is it this color? What are you doing there, buddy? What are you doing? I don't even know where that color exists in this. But it's getting a little muddy. We could fix that in a little bit. I'm just going to go with a solid color. Hello, colors. Ouch. Ouch. These are all kind of hurting my eyes. So let's try to fix it. Starting to look like a flag. Not to worry. Everybody's just saying, hello, hi, hey, how you doing? What's up? What's going on? Hey, everybody. It's like everybody's kind of filing into the building. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good to see you. Okay, let's take this, change this to white. Boom. Stroke. Yeah. Change the color of that stroke. Boom, like so. Let's take this stroke because it's choking that text, which I'm not crazy about. We need to change align stroke to the outside. Does it not do that for text? Man, you learn something new every day. Okay, so how would we fix this? I'm so glad this came up. Notice how the stroke, in some cases it doesn't know, maybe it doesn't know the inside from the outside when it comes to letters or ligatures because it gets a little complex. But how can we make sure the stroke is always going to be on the outside and only the letter is going to be filled with white? Well, we can go over here to our appearance panel. In our appearance panel, right down here at the bottom, we can click and add, if I have this stuff selected, maybe I can't do this all at once. Oh, I am learning things every day. Okay, there we go. Here we go. We have our stroke and our fill. Right, we'll have the fill on top. The fill is going to be, let's just throw yellow in there just so we could see it, and we'll zoom in on that. And now we can have our stroke, and rather than our stroke being over here with, you know, oh, this is so weird. Let's change the color right in here. All right, anyways, so if I have my stroke under my fill and I start to crank that up, that's how it builds to the outside. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's how you do that. But I would really start using the appearance panel. This is the sort of unsung hero of Illustrator, if you ask me. Let's go back in here. We'll change that to white. Do we like this? It's okay. What can we do? Can we go into an effect? And oh, can we do? Oh, that would be fun. Do we maybe look at do we make it 3D but in a very silly way? Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. So I'm going to take this. I am going to go to Effect, 3D and Materials. We're going to go to 3D Classic. We're going to do Extrude and Bevel. Wait for it. Oh, so it's going to do something funky. Click OK. All right, it is taking that stroke, so I'm gonna. This is what just happened. I'm so glad you guys are here. Two things came up that kind of threw me for a loop. Since I applied this effect when I was in my appearance panel, it put that 3D effect on my stroke. So if you ever run into anything weird like this, it's like, well, it's not making the text 3D. Well, technically, yeah, you had stroke selected, so it applied the 3D to the stroke, which is black. So that's what's happening there. So yeah, we can take that. We should be able to, can't we drag that up? Yeah, bring it up to the top, or maybe beneath everything. There we go. Bring it down beneath everything, and there we have that. Are the colors... The colors are stinging your eyes. Oh, I don't want that to happen. But that's what's going on. So that's why we have this situation. Also, there's plastic shading. We don't want any shading. Turning that off, sure enough, that's what that looks like. We could start playing with the different sides of this. That's probably what I would do, is I would actually extrude this a little bit more. So we'll make this 100. We'll get rid of this. And yeah, I kind of wanted to add different colors to each and every side. That's what I wanted to do. Okay. There we are. Duplicate this. Create outlines. Actually, no, let's go up to Object, Expand Appearance. There we go. Here's our shape. I get it. It's hurting your eyes. I apologize. Let's come in here, add our stroke, and this is what I wanted. Something like this. Right? That's all. Yeah, it's some work. We'll go ahead and ungroup this. This is just one way of doing things, by the way. Let's make sure the stroke has nice rounded corners so we don't get any of those weird points. But then in here, this is where I can consider just adding, you know, red, for instance. Still staying within that primary color palette. So red would be on one side. There we go. All right. Just trying to do a fun 90s style is all I'm doing right here. Let's move this off. Let's just go with this. We definitely did not get far enough along on this one for sure. But you get the idea. There we go. We'll just do this. We'll just do we. All right. So I don't know, is this feeling 90s nostalgia? There's more I want to add to this because we're missing all those fun 90s icons. I'm thinking of sort of like Windows 95, some of that stuff. But let's jump in here and yeah, let's just make this look good, huh? Let's open up this panel. Blue. Blue. All right, there we are. I like this. Oh, I like these even being. maybe yellow. Yeah, that's just a fun design. Nintendo 64 colors. Oh, thank you so much, Penny. Like, what would you do? Like, honestly, if I was working on a 90s project, I would literally go to Google. I would say 90s style. 90s graphic design. There we go. Let's see what we get. Images. Some of this. Oh, well, so this is not 90s. This is. Drawing a blank. What's the name of this style? This is more 80s. So honestly, I don't know if I believe a lot of this, but I like it. This is cool. Anyway, this feels 90s to me, right? Some of that bitmap type stuff. Cool. Let's take this. Let's make these lines a little bit thicker too, by the way. There we go. Let's do this. You ready for a pro tip? Noun project. Who does not love noun project? Like literally, heart. I heart noun project. I just need a little heart right there. Copy. Right? I just need a basic shape. Right? I would love to show you how to make a heart, but honestly, just as easy to use noun project, and there we have our heart. We'll do something like that. There we go. Leave it up to me to always kind of bite off more than I can chew. I'm like, hey, let's make 3 designs. We made 3 designs of our our first phrase. But there we go. I would still play with these colors. So we want this to go up here. This should be a little bit smaller. And behind everything, shrink this down. We heart you. Cool. Oh, nice. Now, oh, that's, yeah, you're right. It's in CCX and XD, which is so cool. I use this little desktop app, just so you know, this Noun Project desktop app. Just kind of open that up, have that run in the background, makes it super easy. So, yeah, you're going to fire up your NES. What's up, Ryan? How you doing, man? Good to see ya. Wait for it, folks. This is our life. This is where you just kind of sit down and, you know, put in "We were promised jetpacks," because that's that's my reference there. It's actually a band that I'm going to see tonight that nobody's heard of because I'm just not that cool. But also, I think it's a cool name for a band. So winding down to my last minute. Almost a little bit too much going on in here. That's okay. We'll get it done. Multiple times today I've had issues with things being grouped, and I would think I'm changing the color, but because it's grouped right in here, it looks like I'm selecting it, but no, it needs to be ungrouped, and then I have access to that color. So that kind of happens sometimes. But there you go. Let's ungroup that. That happened with this item, and there we are. So, oh, so nice. There's our designs. Hopefully you guys are into it. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me this fine Friday. I miss doing 2 streams on a Friday. I really do. I think they're really fun. So again, we were just covering, just for a recap, graphic design trends, 90s nostalgia, a 2D, 3D mashup I didn't really get into, but I did start introducing 3D right here. So, but I think these were maybe our 2 strongest designs that, of course, need more work, but you get the idea. And thank you so much for hanging out with me. T. White's up next. Thank you so much, everybody. We will see you soon. Bye.